first high school dance was all country.
All right, we're rolling. You guys good?
Yes, we're good.
All right. Got too many things.
Pat thought that they weren't going to be able to do the GPDR.
We're all done.
I mean, he said it was hidden in the script. It's like, not from these guys, there's nothing hidden.
Nothing.
Yeah.
They are ready.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Nancarrow with Live West.
Ralph.
Nice to meet you, Dorian.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you again, Andy. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good. And how are you?
Wonderful. Thank you.
Good. Well, I know Andy told me that you are actually going to be on your way to the Grand Canyon after a meeting.
I'm very excited.
Have you ever been before?
No. Been over to Yellowstone, but not exactly Grand Canyon.
Okay. Have you been?
I have.
Yeah.
I have. So we hike quite a bit. And so we have that in common as we've been getting to know each other better.
Right. Yeah. I've never been, but it's definitely on my bucket list. So you'll have to tell me how it goes.
Definitely will.
Well, I want to make sure I'm using your time wisely, especially since I'm sure you're eager to get on with your trip. So I just want to make sure, is 20 minutes still a good time frame for today?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And I do want to give you both my business card again, just in case you have any questions after our meeting today. You'll have my contact information. And I know last time that we talked, we discovered the security solutions that Gray Matter would be able to offer Paycom. So I would love to have a chance to share those with you, Dorian, and also just go over the challenges and the solutions that we found, see if anything's changed, and then end with talking about how our LiveQuest can help you manage your security model and achieve a successful acquisition. Does that sound okay?
Yes.
Okay. Would you like to add anything?
This will be more of a merger than it would be an acquisition.
Okay, good. Thank you for clarifying that. So, were you able to fill Dorian in on everything that we discussed and the solutions we found?
Yes, he has most of the details. A really good overview of what we went over with Jay and his team.
Okay, perfect. Well, again, just to get everyone up to date so we're on the same page, Andy and I talked about that within this merger, the overall goal is just to have the absolute best data security. And within that, we're wanting to make sure that Jay is able to use his time wisely so he is able to provide that increased data security as we make the transition over into the European market. So I know that we are also concerned with Tiff and making sure that she is happy, because I know she's concerned with growth and all the possibilities for growth as well. So aside from kind of finding a good mix between the two of those solutions, is there anything else that has changed or any other concerns that you have within the merger?
I don't, but Dorian has a few concerns.
Okay, what are those?
So, in speaking with one of my really good friends in the UK, and just working with Yankees, in that what we're learning is that we potentially have bigger losses than working with U.S. companies with the data security issues than we would with having to deal with the Brexit issues.
Okay, so you're kind of concerned with how Brexit will impact the merger and if U.S. companies are able to understand that. Is that correct?
No, the Brexit's one issue for us, and why we were talking about the merger with the U.S. company. But as I started talking to one of my really good friends over there, there's data security issues with prominent U.S. companies here, and we don't have those data security issues over in the UK.
And what specifically are those data security issues that you're concerned with over here in the U.S.?
Sure. So some of the research we have done and looking at some of the companies where Marriott had over 500 million of customers' data stolen, to Equifax, which is a credit facility, had 143 million. eBay had 145 million of information stolen. Then you look at Facebook, and as big as they are, they lost 50 million of people's data information.
Right, and so you're concerned with all the breaches that have occurred over here.
Correct.
You don't want that to transition over into the European market.
Yes, because like I said, this is a merger, and I do want to protect my customers.
Of course. And within the merger, is there anything else that concerns you, or do you feel like that's your top one?
That is my top one.
Okay, so if we were able to come in and provide a platform that will ensure that we eliminate those gaps to make sure that a breach or anything of that similarity is not possible, would that make you feel more comfortable with the merger?
Yes, that would be a good start.
Okay. And if Paycom is able to have top-of-the-line security by eliminating those gaps and ensuring a fully secure system, how would that impact you specifically?
Well, like I said, it helps us with the Brexit issue. So by working with a U.S. company, there are concerns we'll be losing some customers because of Brexit.
Okay. And within losing those customers because of Brexit, what is your biggest concern?
Of losing them, just the things that will happen with Brexit, with the different tariffs that will happen, that some of our customers are unsure what will happen because of it. So they're looking for other avenues of payroll options. So, but if I bring a U.S. company in, then we'll be able to avoid that.
Okay, perfect. So it sounds like your customers, you just don't want them to be confused. You want them to have the knowledge that their data will be secure within a system like Paycom.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Well, if Paycom was able to have top-of-the-line security by saving J time, as we talked about, and mitigating the risk of any breaches, what would that mean for Paycom as a whole?
Well, I think we could move forward with the merger, and then Tiff and her sales team could go to work in growing both of the companies.
Exactly. And Andy, specifically, within this merger, if you are able to move forward with it and achieve that 50% increased revenue, what do you see as for the future of Paycom being?
Continued and even faster growth. We've been growing it at 40-50% a year, and bigger market share.
Right, and I know that you did talk about that you are wanting to move quickly within this merger. Is there a specific timeline that we have in place today?
We want to get it going by the end of the year. We want to go into 2020.
End of the year, okay.
And if we're going to do it, we're going to do it by the end of the year.
Okay, and is there any specific criteria that you have in mind as we continue to discuss this merger and the solutions that we offer?
Dorian's asked me about the GDPR, and that's now becoming an issue. And if ReliaQuest had anything in place to cover that.
Of course. We do work with clients overseas and we understand the importance of GDPR, so I can imagine why you are concerned with that and wondering that as well. So if I could provide you, or Paycom at least, with a security platform that is going to be able to help Jay and his team manage the security system more effectively and more timely, as well as ensuring that Paycom is up to date with GDPR and all the other regulations to ensure that your current customers have peace of mind as well, would you be interested in hearing more about it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Well, just to give you a brief rundown, Dorian, at ReliaQuest, we are committed to fortifying the world's most trusted brands against cyber threats. And we do that through our newest platform, Gray Matter, which has been adopted by dozens of Fortune 500 companies because it eliminates gaps in security models by connecting Paycom's existing technology, people, and processes in order to turn alerts into insights. And specifically, I know that you mentioned that you were most concerned with keeping your customers' trust and ensuring that they can still trust a provider like Paycom for their payroll solutions. And you mentioned that the biggest concern was all the breaches that have happened in America so far. And that is why through Gray Matter, we work to eliminate those gaps to ensure that breaches like that are not possible, specifically through this investigation capability, because through this capability, we are able to build out customized solutions tailored to Paycom's environment in order to make sure we have a complete understanding so that when and if a threat does come through, we are able to stop it before it gets severe or increases anymore. Does that make you feel more comfortable about the security system that would be able to be improved through Gray Matter?
Yes, that definitely helps.
Okay, wonderful. And Andy, can you see Jay's team being able to have time saved by using a capability like that?
I can. It's just, and I think Jay's getting closer as well. So.
Right. And I know that Jay did have a plan in place as well, but it is taking him a lot of time. And through this capability, we would be able to mitigate the need for Jay and his team to analyze all these spreadsheets, mix them together, and kind of do the background work for them so that he is better able to focus on his other objectives to ensure that no breaches happen in the future. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense.
Okay, wonderful. Well, just to give you a better idea of what Gray Matter's platform does look like, this is an example of the dashboards, reports, and insights that Jay and his team could have at their fingertips. And I know that you were concerned with kind of almost being detail oriented to ensure that there is not even a possibility for a breach. So if you would feel the need to zoom in on anything that you find specifically applicable to the European market or the metrics that we would be able to use to ensure that we are in regulation and that there are no gaps.
Okay.
Can you see a system like this that's going to be able to organize both all the data in the US and the data in the European market being of benefit to Paycom?
Yes.
Okay. And having a system like this that's going to ensure that all those gaps are eliminated, does that make you feel more comfortable with the acquisition as well?
It does.
Okay, wonderful. Well, I know you also mentioned specifically that you are concerned about the GDPR regulation and as far as us in the US, if we are able to handle it. And I would like to give you this article because we are actually recently recognized by an international awards program as Security Solution of the Year because of how we are able to thrive off consistency by creating those customized solutions to ensure that we have a complete understanding of the regulation so that your customers don't receive fines or anything like that, and to make sure that their data is safe. So I can go ahead and leave that with you if you'd like to take a deeper look into that. And within solving the need of being sure that we are completely GDPR compliant and going along with the acquisition, I know that we discovered lots of solutions within Gray Matter that can not only help Jay, but also give you peace of mind as well as we move forward with the merger. Would you be comfortable with moving forward with Gray Matter today?
Well, I do have another question because we're over in the UK and I support companies in France, the UK, Germany, and Spain. How do you deal with the different languages
Of
to
course.
support those different companies?
Right, so as I mentioned, at Gray Matter and at ReliQuest, we are not a one-size-fits-all option. We really work more as a partnership and kind of combine the two cultures together instead of just taking your data and managing it for you. And within providing that customized solutions, we are wanting to be able to effectively communicate because transparency is so important to us. So we want to make sure that we are actively versed within different languages so that everyone is on the same page at the same time, and especially within receiving this international award that I think can kind of help you give peace of mind that we have experience working with international companies and have experience communicating with them effectively as well.
Okay.
Does that make you feel more comfortable with the communication that would take place between the US and here? Perfect.
Yes, thank you.
All right. So is there any other questions as far as moving forward with the merger and how Gray Matter could assist in that process?
Dorian and I have been talking about, as he gets introduced to ReliQuest and Gray Matter, that why is it so superior to him just hiring a staff of experts that accomplishes all this, and we could possibly do the merger that way.
Right, so you're concerned as to what makes Gray Matter so special and how is it different from like an outsourced solution, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, well just to give you a better idea, us at ReliQuest, we are kind of in an emerging market of our own because between the current outsourced solutions and the in-source solutions that Paycom currently has, we kind of bridge the gap between the two because we find that both of these approaches do have downfalls and they both fall short. And one of the things that does make us so special is that customization capability because we are able to get a better understanding of your environment so that we are able to eliminate gaps faster to ensure that no breaches were to occur as well. And we find that we are incredibly successful at doing that because we do have a 97% customer retention rate because they appreciate exactly how customized our solutions are to their environment.
Okay.
Does that make you feel more comfortable with what makes us different?
Yes.
And we feel like by offering top-of-the-line security and by having the ability to grow with Paycom in the future as well, we would be a great culture fit and work together as a partnership. I think that's another thing that differentiates ourselves as well.
Sounds good.
Okay, wonderful. Well, with all that said, and now that you can see the mutual benefit and a partnership that could form out of this merger, would you be comfortable with moving forward with Gray Matter today?
Yeah, we'll move forward in the process. Yes.
Okay. What do you feel like the next steps are within that process?
Costing as well.
Yeah. If you want to take a look at costs.
Of course. Yeah, I know that we discussed in our meeting after the numbers that Jay gave me that we were looking more at an investment of around $400,000 up here. How do you feel that that would fit in with the current budget?
I think as we discussed before, it's in line with the budget where we're at Paycom.
Okay, perfect. Well, that is good to hear. And I know that you were also concerned with the investment and what you're going to get out of this investment. And a lot of our customers do tend to see, at minimum, a 35% reduced technology total cost of ownership. And that is simply because we are able to unify all those disparate technologies, both in the US and overseas, to ensure that you are getting a greater return on investment out of all those technologies as well.
Sure.
So would you say that you feel comfortable with this investment then today?
Yeah, I'm comfortable with it.
And what about you, Dwayne?
Yes. I mean, yes.
You see it fit in? Okay, perfect. Well, now that you have a better understanding of the pricing model and the investment that you would able to also receive a return on, would you then feel more comfortable with moving forward with the merger and helping Gray Matter assist with that?
Yeah, we still have next steps.
And what are those next steps?
I'd want to see a contract.
It's a contract, of course.
That to send over to my attorneys over in the UK
Mm-hmm.
to have them look that over.
Okay, and I do have a contract right here just for you to see. What do you think your attorneys would be wanting to see within that contract that would make them feel more comfortable with you signing today?
All the wording in the contract, right? That's what lawyers read.
Right, of course.
So everything that's in the contract they'll read over and just make sure it aligns to everything that we're looking for.
Okay, do you feel like there's any place where Gray Matter wouldn't align?
No, it's just a matter of how the contract reads.
Okay, and do you have any concerns with moving forward or anything that you feel like your lawyers would object to?
It's due diligence. You know, they'll go through, read the contract. If they have questions, they'll redline and come back with questions.
Okay, well, as far as the investment goes, is there anything specific that your lawyers are going to want to see besides just reading the contract and making sure they understand it?
No, we'll handle the business
Yes.
aspects of it. It's just the verbiage, you know, and you know what the liabilities are, what the risks are, mostly for our protection.
Right, and I know that when considering your protection, it is incredibly important. And as I mentioned, we have worked with international companies before, and we find that they are able to trust us. And even though that, of course, we still have all the background work for the lawyers to work with, we are able to gain commitment before them reading it, just because I want to make sure that we all are on the same page today and that we can get started with this merger, because I know you said you're wanting to get this done by the end of the year, and we have about a month left. So I would love to at least have your signature to confirm that we are able to get started on this as fast as possible.
Now, I think we're in agreement and want to move forward. Just like for the attorneys to read through the contract, and we should be good. So it's just a matter of them, again, you said doing their due diligence, but the financial aspects and what you presented today sound you've answered our
So Dorian will go on vacation. I will work and make sure that we proceed so that we can hit the deadlines and hit the dates that we've outlined.
Okay, well, again, I'm very glad that we found solutions today. And as far as your lawyers reviewing the contracts, is there anything else that you would like to see from me, or anything else that would help ensure that we are able to move forward as quick as possible?
Just have your people prepared in case they have questions and there's things that they want to review.
Okay, and do you have any idea what the questions might be?
I don't, they're lawyers.
Right. And are they able to join us right now or be on the phone or anything like that?
No, I will send them. I'll send it to my attorneys while I'm on vacation, and then I have other business dealings after my vacation here in the U.S. So I'll be able to get it done, or at least have them look at it, and any questions that they may have that can be handled while I'm on vacation.
Okay, perfect. Well, again, here at Gray Matter, we do have a increasingly technological system, so I would actually be able to send them over the contract right now to kind of speed up that process, so that when you're on vacation, I'll just send it over to them and they will actually already have it in their inbox.
Mhm.
So with that said, would that make you feel more comfortable with moving forward then?
Sure. If you just send it to me, I'll forward it to our attorneys,
Okay.
and then have them get working on it. Like I said, when I'm on vacation.
Okay, perfect. Well, I am glad that we found solutions today and we are able to move forward with this process. And again, if you have any more questions, you have my contact information and you will be able to reach out if you have any questions going further.
All done.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Wow, that's great timing.
Thank
Nice
you.
job.
Thank you.
All right, we're
All
done.
right. We did it.
Thank you,
want
sir.
Sure.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Good job. Yeah.
Thank you guys for being my